Good morning. Hi, this is Travis from National Weather Service, and this is your weather hazard briefing for Sunday, August 21st. Look for a repeat of isolated to scattered thunderstorms today, although it will not be quite as many thunderstorms as we saw yesterday, and the air mass is not quite as moist. And I'll show you that here in a second. Our best, again, the main concerns are going to be those thunderstorms in the central mountains, southern central mountains, upper Snake Highlands, and then along the Montana Divide, as well as extending along the eastern highlands of the Wyoming border. Gusty winds will be about 30 to 45 miles an hour with some brief moderate rain, heavy rain, and then the temperatures will be in the 70s, 80s in mountains and 80s today, and then we'll reach the 90s as we go into Monday onward as far as the valleys. Storm chances will lessen as we move in tomorrow and even more so on Tuesday. They come back just very slightly on Wednesday and Thursday to isolated scattered, whereas on Tuesday and Monday just looking mainly isolated. So again, Wednesday and Thursday we have an upper level of kind of approaching to our north. It will kind of enhance at least the mountain thunderstorm chances to isolated scattered. Will not be widespread. And then as we go into Friday onward, we are looking for continued precip in the mountains, but it looks isolated and becomes very isolated as we move into Sunday. And as we go into the next week, after that, we are looking for high pressure to return for the long term to that warmer and drier conditions, particularly to our north, as high pressure gets centered over Washington. Right now, we have high pressure ridging that's over Washington in Oregon. That will kind of move to the east over our area today, so it will lessen the chances for our western areas. They may start off a little bit of convective, but it'll be hard for thunderstorms to develop across our west, particularly in Burley and the valleys. A little bit of chance for Sun Valley, but it'll be mainly to the east. Best chance is going to be where we see the clouds here, our southern end of the Central Mountains and Big Lost, as well as along the Montana Divide and Wyoming border in the southeast highlands. That's where we're going to have our best chance for isolated is scattered. Again, those three areas as we kick off this afternoon. It'll be a little bit later, probably in the 2 to 3 time frame as far as kicking off thunderstorms. Again, we're looking for outflows in the 30 to 45 mile an hour range. The best gustiest winds will be in the upper Snake Plain this afternoon. Again, I kind of mentioned those areas. Isolated is scattered across our mountains, the central mountains, the southern central mountains, and Big Lost area, as well as the Montana Divide, and including the southeast highlands and eastern highlands along the Wyoming border. As we move into Monday and Tuesday, less chance, particularly in the valleys, more isolated, particularly on Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday we return to isolated to scattered in those mountain areas. Showing widespread, just thunder chances, although we'll say there's very little chance in just like the eastern Imagine Valley, but there is a chance most everywhere, except as again later you go in the day that high pressure moves in, and so very very small chance across our western areas. It will take the heating of the day to get the thunderstorms going, and that'll be a little bit later. So you can see here's our best chances in that southern central mountains, Big Lost area, and then the upper Snake Highlands, and as well as the southeast highlands and eastern highlands here are your best thunderstorm chances. So it'll develop with heating today in all these areas. It does look like there will be kind of outflows from the central mountains and move into the Snake Plain. So there will be a chance thunderstorms moving particularly late, 6 to 8 p.m. across the Snake Plain. They will not be real strong, particularly with that high pressure ridging building in from the west. But there is a chance of winds, particularly in our northern areas, of that 40 to 45 mile an hour winds, outflows. So here's just a simulation of what I just described. So here's starting. It'll start at 1, kicks off around 2 or 3 o'clock, southern central mountains, and then it outflows and progresses into the Snake Plain in isolated fashion. So you can see our precipitable waters are relatively dry, particularly in the central mountains. We do have a little bit approaching an inch in the upper Snake Plain and then the southeast highlands. So that'll be our best chances for those areas that might see some moderate rainfall. It'll be brief with those thunderstorms, but it's not going to be near as wet as what we saw, particularly 2 days ago, and not as wet as yesterday either. And here's our outlook for Monday. Again, it's kind of showing kind kind of the same area as Sunday, although it is kind of at least showing the trend here. It looks like the whole Snake Plain will not likely get thunderstorms. And then you see on Tuesday definitely a stronger signal, or it'll be more dry, mainly across the Montana Divide. And then here's our high temperature for today. Just kind of getting close to 90, hitting 90 in Shoshone area. But outside of that, a little bit of warm up from yesterday. Will be not as cloudy, so have a chance. And then the min-RHs are still above the critical areas, but you can see they are dropping down into the low 20s across the Snake Plain. And then on Monday, we're even drier. You can see we have some critical areas below 15. And then our temperatures do reach the 90s a little bit more even as we go into the lower Snake Plain, even the upper Snake Plain. And then as we go into Tuesday, kind of the same, low 90s, maybe a degree or two cooler, but you can see we are more areas have below 15, and as far as your min-RH, so it is drier. So just again on your outlook, starting August 26th through September 3rd, we are looking like we stay above normal, chances above normal precip, centered again over Washington and western Idaho and Oregon. And then our precip chances, of course, also match that, lower chances of precip as well. So again, just to recap, isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area today. Not as widespread as yesterday. Still looking for gusty winds, particularly in the upper Snake Plain, with outflow winds around 45 miles an hour, and brief moderate rain, particularly in the southeast highlands, where your precipitable waters are the highest, near an inch. And your temperatures throughout the week will be in the 70s, 80s in the mountains, and 80s and lower 90s in the valley, particularly as we go into later in the week as things dry out. We'll start hitting the low 90s more commonly. Storm chances lessen throughout the higher terrain, especially as you go into Tuesday. Increase just slightly again on Wednesday, Thursday, with upper level approaching to our north, and then start drying and warming and drying trend again through the weekend, but still a very slight chance of mountain showers and thunderstorms. High pressure returns in the long run next weekend into the very next week, up to September 3rd, with the high pressure. Looks like high pressure centered over the northwest. That'll bring warmer and then drier conditions for this time of year as we go into the long term, that 2-week outlook. So that concludes the brief. Here's the number at the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions, give us a call. Thank you.